Good morning. Um, so I was taking a bath, and when I stepped out of the bathtub, I got a vision of this man. And so what happened was, it was about 2.5 years ago. It was right after that narcissistic, um, just ghosted me. You know, so I was still struggling with that. And so that one guy I dated from way back when, um, we put listening devices and cameras in my house that I didn't know were there, and made keys in my apartment. Um, so let that be a warning. Anyone who is with someone, just be careful. Here you can borrow my car, and my house keys are on it, right? So naive. So, long story short, um, he came to my house one night, and I was drinking, and so we went to the liquor store to buy more beer, and he always denied he drank. He denied he partied. He denied he did anything. He was a big time denier. Deny, deny, deny. It was like real denier. So we come out of the liquor store, and this man asked for some money, you know, and I told him that, I didn't have any, and if I did, I would give it to him. But he never took his eye off the person I was with, and I told him, you should really give him some money. And he wouldn't even look at him. I mean, he would just treat him like he was nothing. And he came from nothing. The only reason he had money is because he forced his family to sell their house. He hounded them constantly. And so everybody found their ways, and they sold the house. And I told him, I said, you're in big trouble. I mean, that man would not release his eyes from him. I knew he came from the Lord. I knew he was an angel in human form. And I told him, you are going to regret not helping that man out. Boys, you're going to regret it. So, 2 years later, he shows up here at the house. And he stink. He's stinky, stinky. And so I told him to take a shower. He took a shower, and we fed him and stuff. And every year he's ever like popped into town, we would invite him over for like Christmas and stuff. He never spent any holidays alone. Um, and he would always say one thing and then do another. Always wanted to be something he never accomplished. I think he's just too used to living off people, and especially women. Um, but so he has all this money, right? Now he's living out of his truck. He blew that money like it was no tomorrow. Kept eating with it. Oh, let me give you this. Let me do you that. Not with me. I mean, with his own child. But he's almost broke, and I'm not sure if he's still living out of his vehicle or not. But he was bathing um, in the swimming pool of his new job. Gross, huh? That's awful. Um, but now he is a maintenance guy here in town locally somewhere. He didn't tell me where. But if anybody ever comes asking, I'm going to give him the information because he's dangerous. Because I felt when he approached me, he had been stalking me because, well, like I said, I would go out and do something and he'd show up. I would tell him that I wanted, just me and my daughter, and he would just pop up. I would have to publicly humiliate him to stop doing that to me. Um, but I didn't put the two together until right now, um, right before I started this recording. Excuse me, my light's bothering me. Okay, much better. Um, that he was no different than that maintenance guy. I was so weighed down with stress, like It's just me and my daughter. We were on the buses all the time, just trying to survive. So when he came in my life, um, it was a couple months later. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. He said he wanted to support me and stuff. He never made it to one surgery, not one. And on my last surgery, when they were going to remove my breast, he put out a bulletin. I'm looking for a partner. I don't care how many kids you have. He's looking for other women. And I found it a year after we broke up. I saw the date on it. It was the day of my surgery. What a winner, huh? I, he was awful. And he used me as a pincushion. He always wanted to have sex all the time. It was gross. Finally, I had to go buy him a blow up because I just couldn't stand it anymore. And I had to isolate myself. I literally had to hide in my apartment. This guy did not know boundaries at all. Went into my neighborhood and talked bad about me. And I used to buy him things. And one day I asked him, and this was early in the relationship. Um, I asked him if it bothered him that I bought him things. He goes, "Oh, all my girlfriends do it for me." I didn't do it again after that. I knew right away he was a user. Not, and then from there, I didn't have any respect for him, really. Nope. But what I noticed here in Arizona, the men here don't open their wallets. We do. And I finally told my daughter, stop doing that. I stopped doing it. But when I got caught up in that apartment, this same person had money. He could have filled my apartment with food. And he didn't. You know what he did? He penny pinched me. "Oh, let me get you a burger." And he would take me and get me something to eat and some beers. And he would hang out and just talk to me. And then I'd have to kick him out at the end of the night. Or he, could, or he slept on my swing a couple times because I don't have a couch. And, you know, and then he left the next day. And I wouldn't see him again for months and months and months. And then boom, he pops back up again. So there was, last summer, I told him never come back again. I didn't want him around. He was always trying to start problems. He was hanging out with one of my friends. She's not my friend anymore, but they're a lot alike. And so the second time I told him, don't come back here again. I'm getting a restraining order because I've had enough of that person. And he was heading bump, bump, bump over to my friend's house. And it was my apartment. She took over. It was the second one. And I thought, I see her and I tell her, don't be telling him things about me because you don't even know. You're not even around me. And don't be talking smack about me because I've warned you a million times. Do not do that. I've seen her fall flat on her face in traffic on a crosswalk. Well, what happened was I was walking ahead of her house and I, I hear her call my name and she's flat on her face. She had dirt on her nose, on her pants, her glasses flew into traffic. She was like, I didn't get squashed. And I picked her up and I'm wiping her off. And I said to her, you really need to stop doing what you're doing because it's going to get worse. The angels are not going to allow this anymore. You've been very hateful toward me, and I've showed her nothing but kindness. And she did it again. That mailman I was telling you about? He sent me that message um, that was filthy and dirty. And on my YouTube page, I have a Cash App because I'm looking for donations to fight this company. And I went back and looked in the messages. I sent him the introduction video as the very first one. And he sent me that message, hey, I saw your videos, I got $50 for you. And I'm like, why? you know? And then I realized it wasn't on the YouTube channel. So we put it on right away and we let him know. But I knew not to take the cash from him. And then he sent that dirty message. Well, he lives right below that so-called friend of mine. She's not my friend at all. and I've known for months. She used to make fun of me behind my back. So I always wanted my grandbaby to call me Nana, and she started laughing, and I guess her and her family had a big powwow about Nana and grandmother are the same um, name. So she was telling me I was stupid and stuff. I'm sure of it because she always thought it was stupid, but I'm not. I know what you're doing. I'm not dumb. And it's funny too because I mean, her and I did a lot of walking together. We shared a lot of meals together. We talked a lot. She saw a lot of things I went through, and I seen a lot of her things that she went through. But there's a difference. She enmeshed herself into her son's family and purposely caused him nothing but riff with his partner. And in the end, she's on her own. She's not allowed anywhere near their house. All her family members know how dirty she is. She's an awful human being. I don't know what made her like that. Um, because, I mean, she has this huge back, and a lot of people walk on it. They wipe their feet on her. And that's because she's not very nice. And I didn't realize, I used to stick up for her with her family members, she's an elder. I made my own daughter respect her, and my daughter can't stand her. And I mean, because I've known that guy. He was so polite to me. He never spoke to me like that ever. And then I started realizing who she was hanging out with, and she probably was the cause also of why the other person, the gaslighter, mistreated me. I'm sure she told him a lot of things weren't true. But this is the bad part. When someone comes to you and talks to you about bad about somebody, don't you think you should be asking them questions? Or go find the other person they're talking about and ask them, hey, something. I, even there was a show, it's my favorite show. I watch it every year. It comes on once a year. Even the people in that program this year never went and asked anybody. They made bro connections and they believed some stranger in the room what their other guy was saying, believed him. They never asked why, never asked any questions, nothing. I thought that was really bizarre, and I told my daughter, that's the society today. Nobody asks anything. Also tells me too how many wounded people are in the world and followers. What happened to your own voice? I mean, when we had that issue happen here in the United States, it doesn't happen here with the government situation. People started like waking up, but there are some people who are still sucked in. Why? Because he has money, clout, owns things, celebrity status. What? What is it? Why aren't we, why aren't we taking our country back as the people and doing the right thing? We need all new congressmen. We need to get rid of all those old people. We need all new and young, fresh-minded, verbally college educated in sociology and law. I'm seriously thinking about getting my sociology degree because when I took some of those courses, it was right up my alley, man. But I thought about law school too, but I'm too emotional. And plus, I'm an empath. I pick up a lot. Um, and you can't lie to me either. I'm a lie detector. So, and it's funny too, like, um, when people lie to me, I always catch them in their lies. It's the strangest thing. Or I'll catch them right before they do it. And I get to watch them do it. It's strange. I'm, I remember one time walking the mall with my stepmother, and I'm asking her how my son is, and she tells me, "Oh, I haven't talked to him." And I kind of fell over. She goes, "Oh, what happened?" I said, "That usually happens to me when people lie to me." And she confessed, man, right on the spot. She was speaking to him. No shit, Sherlock. You think I'm dumb? Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. No honesty. Um, when I first came here, I I had to stay with my dad and his wife. Excuse me. And I would get up out of bed and I'd go into the sink and I'd look in the kitchen. Or one day she says to me, or one night she says, "What are you looking for?" I said, "The mouse." I actually said mice. And she goes, "We don't have any mice." Okay. Went back to bed. Every night I did that for a week, I think it was. And she goes, "We don't have any mice." And I pulled the cardboard box out at the other cupboard. "Yes, you do." And there was mice turds in the bottom of that. So then the next night, uh, I got up and she said, she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "You have a mouse under here." And she goes, "No, I just killed it." I said, "We have more to kill. There's more there." The third night, I didn't wake up. And then when my dad came back, um, he fixed the hole under under that sink so nothing else was getting in. She never thanked me. She never said anything to me. Nothing. I'm sure she thinks I'm a freak. I don't really care. I've probably been doing that for years. I didn't even know because they shut me down so much. They shut me down, 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 shut me down. Every time I spoke, shut me down, shut me down, shut me down. I guess I wonder if they thought I was gonna be like that all my life. Uh, that's probably why I stayed away from them. Especially when she told me she didn't believe in the Bible because a man wrote it. I knew right then and there to stay away from her. I knew she was dangerous. I knew her right away as soon as I heard it. The Bible is to be read as a whole. Scriptures are good, if you need to make points. But if you're doing it to be mean, that's not that's not how the book is used. And I've had many people try that crap. Is I don't when I would do something. Oh my gosh, it's such tremendous guilt for just little things. They're probably petty and dumb to others, but to me it was big because I didn't want to disappoint the father. I didn't, because I knew better. So, but I am still human, and I am going to make mistakes. I am going to sin. I am going to have issues. I am going to have a lot of things because I'm human. And I feel and I bleed just like everybody else. I pay bills just like everybody else. I live life like, well, not like everybody else, but, um, I don't. So I used to listen to this one tape all the time. I can see myself in all. And that I think has kept me in the love field, you know. And that's Tao, by the way. I think it's Tao, Tao. And I learned that from a very famous. Um, I don't know if I can say his name or not, but if you research it, he should pop up. But it was the eighth one, and that was it. I fell asleep. As soon as I heard that, boom, out cold. Um, I just find it fascinating, e- e- every everything that touched my life or has been in my life, it's like a pattern. And it's so funny. I did 14 years, and I now just put the two together. Weird. Everything has time and purpose, right? You, I guess that's how you live and learn. It makes me laugh in a way because those trees really kind of opened up something for me, you know. And then life, right? It's fascinating. I find it fascinating. Because love is so important, but when you're greedy, um, and you don't help your fellow neighbor, I mean, I just wanted to share that. But I knew he was in trouble when that man looked at him. I knew he was gonna regret it. Literally, he wouldn't even look at. That man never looked at me. He couldn't take his eyes off of him, and it was weird too because it's really dark in the parking lot. There was no one around, just us two, and that man came out of nowhere too. I don't even know where he came out of, but just just keep that in the back of your mind, you know. And tipping's important too. You can use your phone for tipping. I had to teach him how to tip. He told me his mother, she used to laugh how squeaky he was because he wouldn't tip. Um, you know, if you don't spend, the world can't go around, right? I heard that theory some years ago. So I always make sure I share. But remember to take care of your own household first. That's in the scriptures. That's an absolute must. And you guys have a good night. Peace for now. Well, not peace for now. I mean peace forever. Okay, God bless. Sleep well.